let's admit, all of us, right? Okay, I won't say all, but most, the vast majority of us understand how the brother feels, right? I do. I'll be totally honest with you. I 100% understand. If I put myself in his shoes, modern day story, now I'm an only child, so first of all, I don't understand the whole brother-sister dynamics thing. It was all about Franklin when I grew up. I admit that. I admit that. Until my younger cousin came along, he's the closest thing I have to a brother. He's my first cousin, but even then, I was the firstborn. I will admit that yes, it was all about Franklin. But I put myself in those shoes and say, okay, my mother starts a business. And it's a successful and prosperous business. And when I become old enough, I start to work in the business. And maybe not only does the business prosper, but it starts to prosper more as I come into the business and bring fresh and new ideas. And then I have this deadbeat brother. This deadbeat brother who goes to my mother at 18 and says, Mom, I don't want to work in the business. I don't even want to stay here in Detroit. I don't like it here. Give me the money that I'm entitled to when you die, but give it to me now, and I'm going to go and have a good time. And my mom does that. And I stay home, and I'm working in the business. I'm helping the business to prosper. Now, when my brother leaves, he has on a tailored suit. He has on some of the finest shoes. He has a ring on each finger. And he doesn't fly coach, he doesn't fly first class, he charters a jet to Las Vegas. Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? And so my brother goes off to Las Vegas and he parties and he has a good time, he gambles and he spends all the money my mom gave to him. Meanwhile, I'm back at home working in the business. And one day, that brother of mine who left in a fine tailored suit with nice shoes and a ring on every finger comes home in tattered clothes, no shoes on his feet, and homeless. And he comes and I'm at work now, my mom sees him, and this is what she says. Instead of, hey, you deadbeat, look at what's happened here, she says, go get him a suit. Get one of his brother's suits. Get his brother's best suit out of the closet. And while you're at it, put a ring on his finger, and since you're already in the closet, get a pair of his brother's shoes and put them on his feet. And then go to the bank and take out a large sum of money because we're going to throw a big party. I come home from work, and not only is my deadbeat brother home, he has on my best suit, a pair of my best shoes, and he spent the money that I have worked hard to grow the business with. I'm going to let you know, the conversation between my mother and me that night is not going to be a pleasant conversation. It's going to be one of those East Side conversations. Y'all have no idea what that means. My wife does. You see, in most cities, the city is divided up. What do you hear about in Chicago all the time? The south side of Chicago, that's the rough side. Well, when I grew up, it was east side of Detroit, west side of Detroit, and the east side of Detroit was the place you didn't want to be when it got dark. It was kind of rough. And that's what that conversation is going to be like with Mom. It's going to be an east side kind of conversation. Let's just put it this way. It will not be 47-year-old pastor, father, husband living in a very nice community conversation. It's going to be 22-year-old, just left Detroit, kind of rough around the edges. That's going to be the conversation that I have with Mom when I see my younger brother in my suit, my shoes, with a ring on his finger, spending my money. And that's how the older brother feels. And I hope if I put it in that way, you understand. Because I'll be totally honest with you. I totally relate to the older brother.